Have you ever gone roller skating? Whether you're gliding across a smooth rink floor or rolling down a sunny sidewalk, there's a feeling of freedom like you're riding the wind. One curious girl wants to know, who was the first person to think of putting wheels on our feet? Let's find out together. Here we go. Where do you want to go? Tell us so we know. What do you want to be? A bird that's flying free. How far do you want to run? Maybe we'll
jump and touch the sun. The imagination address.
Using your imagination, go where you want to go. Using your imagination, learn things that you should know.
The imagination address. The imagination address.
In a town like yours live 3 children. Sarah, who is the oldest, Kevin, and Melissa are their names. Their parents take them to a grocery store which has very special shopping carts. If a child is respectful, obedient to their parents, does their best in school, and is respectful of others, the shopping carts take them to places they imagine. The shopping carts only work when their parents give their children permission to push them. Sarah, Kevin, and Melissa must agree where their imaginations will take them. Sarah loves to go roller skating at the community roller skating rink. She began to wonder, who was the first person to think of such a brilliant idea? The children decided to meet the person who thought of the idea of wearing wheels on your feet. Shopping cart, moving in motion. Take us to the person who had the idea to allow humans to wear wheels on their feet. Immediately, they were taken to the year 1800. A man was standing by 2 pieces of wood that had 4 wheels attached to the bottom of each piece of wood. The wood was shaped like funny-looking shoes that had no tops or sides to them. The man started smiling and waving at them. The man walked to them and said, "Hello, my name is John Joseph Maryland." The children smiled, waved, and said,
Hello.
Mr. John said, "I'm so happy to have you visit me today." The imagination address told me 3 children that work amazingly hard on their schoolwork were coming to visit me today. I know your name is Kevin, but who is Sarah and who is Melissa? The man asked.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Melissa.
Each girl replied. Hello, and nice to meet you, Mr. John, the children replied. Mr. John said, I know you came to learn about the first pair of skates. But before we talk about that, I want to tell you how proud I am that you did your best. It's not about the grade you made. It's about you doing your best. Don't compare your best to someone else's best. I encourage you to always be proud that you did your best. Let no one stop you from being and doing your best. Thank you, the children replied. Now let's get to the subject at hand. You're here to learn about skates and the first person who made a pair, right? First, they weren't called skates when I made them. I didn't know what to call them. Seems like I skipped a lot of the story. Let's start from the beginning, shall we? Speaking of inventions, I have trouble pronouncing the name of the land my country became. I invented a speaker box that will pronounce it for me. Have a listen.
I was born in a little town called Huy, Liège, in 1735. Many years later, that land became part of Belgium.
I was a boy who loved to tinker. While my friends and other children played outside, I would take apart clocks and music boxes, wondering how each tiny gear made magic happen. I dreamed not only of making things work, but of making them sing. That's why after receiving the letter from the Imagination Address, I was so excited and happy you were all coming today. You remind me so much of myself. Sarah, for you not to only want to enjoy skating, but to be so curious as to know how they were invented, it makes me excited for your future and what you children can accomplish in life. We in Imagination Land encourage our visitors to stay curious and take the time to learn about new things. And one day, you just might be the cause of new things being invented. Dream. Don't be afraid to dream. Just because it hasn't been done doesn't mean it can't be done. Just because it's not defined in the dictionary doesn't mean you can't create it and you define it. Sorry. I get so excited to meet possible future great inventors until I forget what I was talking about. Sarah said,
You were talking about making things sing.
Yes. Thank you. Years later, in 1760, I moved to London, England, where the streets buzz with ideals and invention. My workshop smelled of wood, brass, and oil. Inside, instruments played by themselves, and mechanical birds sang from golden cages. But one night, as I was polishing a violin, I gazed out the window at people skating graciously on the frozen Thames River. I smiled and whispered to myself, what if we could glide on land? I couldn't get this idea out of my mind. I worked for weeks, cutting, carving, hammering, until I made something the world had never seen. A pair of wooden shoes with small metal wheels underneath. The word roller skates hadn't been thought of yet. But here they are. Don't let the dictionary stop your creative imaginations. You invent it, and the dictionary will have to catch up to you. These wooden shoe rollers clattered on the floor as I tested them. They were heavy, loud, and hard to steer. But oh, how they rolled! Marvelous! I decided to show them to as many people as possible. I knew a grand masquerade ball was a month away. I'll show them off then. I thought to myself. At last, the big night arrived. A grand masquerade ball filled with nobles in glittering masks. Music filled the room as people danced and twirled. The doors burst open. I rolled in on my wooden shoes with small metal wheels, dressed in silks, playing a violin as I glided, or tried to glide, across the floor. At first, the crowd gasped in wonder. then gasped again as I began to wobble, and finally shouted as I crashed spectacularly into a tall mirror, shattering glass everywhere. I sat dazed, violin in hand, my wooden roller shoes clinking somewhere on the floor. You see, my invention had no straps, no strings, nothing to secure me to these funny looking shoes. When I fell, the shoes kept rolling. People looked in horror and concern. I thought to myself, well, I did want everyone to notice, but not quite like this. Suddenly, I burst into laughter. Mission accomplished. They will never forget this. Well, I said, brushing off the dust, perhaps some improvements are needed. Sarah, Melissa, and Kevin, never be so close-minded until no one can tell you anything. Remember, no one knows everything. I'm just happy I was the first to try. Though my first try ended in a crash, my dream rolled on. Other inventors saw what I started and made it better. Smoother wheels, leather straps, safer turns, Mr. John said. Sarah said,
Mr. John, me, Melissa, and Kevin did some research before we came. This is some of what we learned.
Melissa said,
In 1863, James Leonard Plimpton, an American inventor from Massachusetts, greatly improved roller skating by designing the first practical four-wheeled roller skate.
Kevin said,
His design attached two pairs of wheels, front and back, to the bottom of a shoe using a pivot mechanism that allowed the skater to turn and steer by leaning.
Sarah said,
This was a major improvement over the early fixed wheel skates, like those made by you, Mr. John, in the 1760s, which could only move in straight lines and were very hard to control. Plimpton skates made roller skating smoother, safer, and more popular, leading to the first public roller rink, opening in New York City in 1866. Mr. John, I'm so happy this information made you smile.
Melissa said,
We could have asked the special shopping cart to let us meet many people that added to your idea, but we wanted to meet the inventor who started it all.
Kevin said,
Mr. John, today people are skating in parks, in rinks, and even on city streets.
Sarah said,
All because you dared to imagine gliding on wheels. Time to go, children.
Time to go. Sarah said,
We must go. I hear our parents calling us.
Mr. John said, Thank you all for coming. It's truly wonderful to hear the joy roller skating brings to so many people. Bye, Mr. John said.
Bye!
The children shouted. Instantly, they were back pushing their shopping carts. The next time Sarah will be skating with ease, she will always remember Mr. John Joseph Maryland, the man who tried to play his violin while gliding through history and taught the world that even a fall can be the start of something great.
Thanks for watching the Imagination Address. Please like and subscribe. Bye-bye.